v.15.10 has just come out, and they've made some changes to the project manager, and I wanted to run through some of them and see what those changes are. They give you some new abilities that are accomplished with just the browser, which I think is brilliant. Why write a whole separate piece of software that we have to learn just so you can do things that your normal browser can do? So from Blender, make sure you're on your Blend for Web engine, and we're going to open the SDK. Now this is a developer preview version, so there could be some changes by the time this comes out. So from here, we're going to go ahead and go to the project manager, and here we see a list of all the projects currently in my folder, and these are all of the default projects that ship with the software. And one of the first new buttons I want to show you is this one that hides the stock projects. So all of the projects that come default with the download will be hidden, and your own projects will remain, and I don't have any that I've loaded in yet. So let's create a new project, and let's just call this one, we will call this My Test App, and we don't need a title or an author at this point, but I am going to create starter files and create scene starter files, and we are not going, let's see, copy project management script. We're not going to do that at this point. And then bundle project, no, we're not going to do that, and we'll leave everything else the same in its default, and create project. Now it has been created. Let's go back to the project page, and we see we have it here. So let's go ahead and open our SDK and see what it has created. So in our Blend for Web root file, we go to apps dev. That's where the developmental apps are going to show up, and My Test App is right here. Now it put files in various locations, and it showed you that in the initial report, but if you want to see those again, it's in this file right here. So I'm going to go ahead and open that, and you can take a look at it. So it's going to show you all of the assets it created and the directories it put them. So to get our Blend app, we're going to go from the root directory to Blender to My Test App, and here is your Blender file that is your starter file. So it already has this default cube loaded in, and then from the deploy apps, here is the deployment folder that this is where everything will show up once you have deployed your app or you have compiled it. So let's go ahead and do a compile. So we're going to come over here and hit compile, and it does that operation and gives you a report, and it's putting all of these files into deploy apps My Test App. And so we've got the CSS, the JavaScript, and the HTML. So let's take a look at that. Deploy apps My Test App, and here they all are now created. And if you want to, now remember, we can't open this directly or nothing will load because it needs to be running from a server. So let's use the link in our project manager. Now the project manager has two links for your index file, the developmental link and the compiled link. And at this point they're the same because I haven't made any changes. Now the next thing I want to do is export this project. So if you want to export your project out of the software development kit, we're going to use this download link. And what that does is it gathers all your files into one package and uses your browser's download function to place a folder into your browser's default download location. So here's all the files that it's going to package up, and we'll hit download archive. And we have mytestapp.zip. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that onto my desktop and go back to projects. And next I want to show you how to delete a project. So all we have to do is hit remove right here. Are you sure you want to remove the project? Yes. Project is removed. And then we'll go back to projects. And if you hit your back button, it might still show here, so you would have to do a refresh. So now our project is gone, it has been deleted, and now we can try the import feature. So we're going to hit upload project archive, and we're going to find that zip file that we exported. and it's going to go ahead and extract those files from the zip folder back to projects, and here it is. So you can use that to transfer your projects. Let's say, for example, Blend for Web comes out with a new SDK version and you want to transfer your projects from the old version to the new version and not forget anything. So what you can do is you can go ahead and export your projects as a zip file and then re-import them in the new version. You can also use that for backup purposes. I did want to show you one more thing before I'm done. I'm looking at the SDK version 15.09. I haven't made this change on the newer version yet, but what I did is I just went ahead and added a link to my own website files that I keep within the SDK. That way I can run my own website files through the server. So that is just one of the simple advantages of using a browser for some of these common functions. You can go ahead and customize this and make changes. So it's probably pretty likely you know how to edit an HTML page, and what I did is, in the original, these two elements cover 50% of their container, and I just changed it. I just added a third and made them all cover 33%, so it was really a simple change. Alright, so that covers the new changes in the project manager. So that's pretty much what I wanted to get through in this video, because these are some really nice, convenient changes. There are some other changes in this version 15.10 worth mentioning, and I will get to some of them in future videos, so stay tuned.